There we go. Good. Just trying to find out what happened there. But I think I'm broadcasting live. I think that I've got this. I don't know what's going on in the picture. The picture looks a bit odd. Can't see myself, but okay. Let's hope that this is recorded okay. I've just finished doing a show giving my views and obviously the opinions of others in the post-fight of Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. We waited 5 years to see this fight. Expectation levels probably were higher than the actual fight itself, and I don't know why people are disappointed. Floyd Mayweather fought the way that he did, and it was up to Manny to, change the direction of how Floyd was going to fight. Floyd fought the way he normally fights, and Manny tried to do what he normally does, couldn't adapt, and that's why we've got the result we've got at the moment. That's what I'm going to talk about. Floyd Mayweather, successful, 48-0. A lot of people don't like the sound of that, but it is what it is. Now Manny Pacquiao's got a shoulder injury that we didn't know before the fight, and all the excuses are coming out now. But shoulder injury or no shoulder injury wouldn't make a difference. Technically, Manny Pacquiao still doesn't know how to block a straight right hand. Manny Pacquiao still doesn't know how to close down a range on a fighter. Manny Pacquiao still doesn't know how to deal with a guy who gives you excellent movement and counter punching. So I don't know, shoulder injury, no shoulder injury. To me, Mayweather still wins as a class above Manny Pacquiao, and that fight just proved that. So it happens that the champ now wants to vacate the titles. It makes enough sense to me. I think he's proven that he's the #1 fighter in the world. Anybody else he would fight now is, for me personally, going backwards. You fight the second best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. People will mention Amir Khan, but by beating Amir Khan, there's nothing great in beating Amir Khan. Daniel Garcia's done it. Peterson's done it. Bruce Prescott's done it. And Khan has not avenged any of those 3 losses to suggest, and now he's going to fight Chris Algieri. It doesn't really show, in my opinion, that he really warrants a fight against Floyd Mayweather. I think if he was really serious about the fight, he should have fought taken Brooks IBF off him, and then try to take Floyd Mayweather. Doesn't matter. I think Floyd Khan is ever going to happen now in his last fight. And the reason why I think that Floyd's vacated the belts is because he doesn't have to pay any sanctioning fees. So Monday morning hands his belts in, doesn't have to pay any sanctioning fees. And then the last fight of his career, he gets to 49-0 and retires. That's what he wants to do. Who would the last fight be against? That's the question mark. Who would he fight against? I would like to see him fight Kell Brook, but just because Brook's unbeaten. But after you beat Manny Pacquiao, it's like, who's next? You've done it. The only thing you can do great probably now is run up to middleweight and try and beat Golovkin. That'd be it. I'm not advising that, but I'm just saying, be truly great. But I think that Floyd is, he said he's TBE, the best ever. In his era, in this era, then you have to say, yes, he is the best ever in this era. In this era, he's the best ever. Because in terms of business, best ever, in terms of sports, and highest grossing paid fighter, smash that record. In terms of highest paid athlete, smash that record. In terms of being in boxing events, smash that record twice with Floyd Mayweather versus Oscar De La Hoya, and then again now Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. He smashed that as well. Pound for pound, #1, unbeaten since he's been a professional fighter. A lot of people talk about the Castillo fight, but that's all people may think. happenstance. People say, well, yeah, he lost. He this fight. He may have lost that fight. That's just down to people's perceptions. Back to bottom line, he's unbeaten. He's 48-0, and he also proves who's running from who. Everyone was talking about Floyd running from Manny Pacquiao, and Floyd has just toyed with the pound for pound #2 in the world. Toyed with Manny Pacquiao. It was embarrassing at times seeing him being unable to close Floyd Mayweather down. It was embarrassing in times to see Floyd land a straight right hand. Look at this. Marcus Maidana in his first fight gave Floyd a tougher fight than Manny Pacquiao did. Now that's embarrassing. You're maybe going to come out and say that you thought you won the fight? Come on, man. And then on top of that, Aaron's coming up with some stupid shoulder injury rubbish. Oh, for fans to think, oh yeah, well, you know, there should be a rematch because Manny's shoulder would be better. What? Get out of here, man. Say shoulder would be better. Technically, a shoulder doesn't stop you closing the range down. A shoulder doesn't stop you blocking the right hand to your face. A shoulder doesn't make you technically a better fighter. Floyd has always been a technically better fighter than Manny, and that's what happened. Technical skills won the fight. So that's it. And we'll close the chapter on that. So now the possibility of Floyd vacating the belts. I've done this video simply because I don't have to worry about uploading afterwards. I get this off my chest and it's uploaded to YouTube, and YouTube does what it wants to do afterwards, as opposed to me sitting down, editing, putting into. So that's why I'm doing it now. Yeah, so my thoughts on the fact that the titles have been vacated. Well, what I would like to see is once the titles are vacated, then do either a Super 6 in the welterweight division, or like a done thing where it's 2 years where they match all the best fighters in the world together and see it happens. But that could be interesting because if, for example, now Al Heyman gets his fighters in the welterweight division, Al Heyman's got Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter as well. I mean, you think about it, the top welterweights in the world could all be Al Heyman fighters, and they have versions of the belt. So you've got some great fights there, potentially in the future at welterweight. Keith Thurman in the mix, Kell Brook, IBF champion. You could potentially have some really great matchups. So there'd be a lot of vacant belts come Monday morning. But then Manny could fight for those vacant belts, and maybe he could become the undisputed welterweight champion. That is his goal now, to be the #1 after Floyd retires. But is Manny going to be still tempted to do that, knowing that he got beaten by Floyd Mayweather? I don't know. You know, I don't know what to say. Floyd vacating his WBC belt at light middleweight, that's interesting as well. That means Canelo and what's the guy's name? Oh, he's fighting again. I can see the guy. I can see the guy that is fighting. I can see his face. But yeah, Canelo against the guy he's fighting. Oh God, who's Canelo fighting? I forgot his name again. Oh my God, but the guy that Canelo's fighting, him and Canelo are going to be fighting for the probably fight for the WBC light middleweight champion of the world. So whoever wins that is in the driving seat with the WBC belt, the light middleweight. It's quite nice. So yeah, that's good to know. But how does that affect the world of boxing now that Floyd's gone or going? Who's having his last fight? Is it going to be some? You know what I mean? Yeah, Canelo against the guy who's fighting. No name fighter. Who's Floyd going to fight against? Who will he challenge? Or who will challenge Floyd? I mean, would it be a meaningful fight? For his last fight. I mean, his 49th fight. I don't think the American fight will happen. And really, who else is there to fight? He could fight Timothy Bradley, but who wants to see Floyd Mayweather against Timothy Bradley? Ahmed Khan's tied up with Algieri. So let's see how Khan does against Algieri. Thurman may be fighting Porter. Brownell will be fighting Garcia. So who is it Floyd Mayweather could potentially fight? And fans will want to see that fight for the 49th fight. Don't know. Don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I think I'd like to see Kell Brook and Floyd Mayweather fight, but because it's not for belts anymore, and because he's vacated his belts, you know, he'll be probably the first fighter to get paid 200 million if the sanctioning fees are not having to be paid because he's given back all the belts. I bet they weren't expecting that to happen. He really has done it on terms, Floyd Mayweather, and to retire 49-0 will be a great result. And I think that a lot of people will recognise Floyd's greatness after he's retired. And he's done. Look, how many fighters today toy with the #1 or the #2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world? This is number 2, right? Number 2. I think that it's great that Floyd's done this. Head and shoulders of anybody between middleweight, welterweight, and light middleweight for sure. The only other fight that possibly people will be interested in seeing is him against Lara. It's not an exciting fight. So ideally, for Floyd's last fight, I mentioned this earlier, I think Floyd vacating the belts should come to England, have his last fight in England, and fight a welterweight in England. So if it's not Kell Brook, and it's not Kell Brook, it's not Amir Khan, who can he fight in the welterweight division in the UK potentially? It'd be nice to see Floyd retire in the UK in terms of his final fight in the UK, outside of Vegas, you know, at Wembley. Who will Floyd fight? You know what? You know what? But Brian, I'm so stupid. Brian Ross. Brian Ross, Floyd Mayweather at Wembley. I mean, people just come to see Floyd Mayweather fight, and no disrespect to Brian Rose, but he doesn't really give Floyd any real concerns. So maybe like Brian Rose would be good to fight. You know, he's a lion heart. He'll come to fight, but you know, you've got Frankie Gavin. It depends on how he does against Kell Brook. Denton Vassell. I don't know. Let me actually have a look at the UK welterweights and see if it's possible to make this happen. Let me have a look at this. The UK top 10 welterweights. I was a matchmaker now, and the last fight, and Kell Brook's out of the equation, right? Let's go to boxing for a second. So we can get it right. So we can make sure we get this right. Ratings. United Kingdom. Okay. Well, let's look at the top 10 welterweights. The top 10 welterweights in the UK. Okay, you've got Glenn Foot, he's 14-0. Nobody really knows much about him at the moment. Denton Vassell, Junior Witter. Nobody's going to watch Junior Witter versus Floyd Mayweather. Bradley Skeet, Floyd Mayweather. Well, there you go. There's a fight right there. Bradley Skeet, Floyd Mayweather in England. You know, you've got the top three: Brooke, Khan, and Gavin. Brooke number one, Khan number two, and Gavin number three. Well, Gavin and Brooke are going to fight one another. Khan's out because he's fighting Algeria. And then after, you've got Sam Eggington, Bradley Skeet. So Bradley Skeet's a possibility. Or Denton Vassell. Adil Anwar down at number 13. Eric Ochieng at number 18. Twitter mate, David Barnes down at 19. So, okay, that's the best in Britain. Let's just do got the best welterweights in Europe. See what you got. There's Leonard Bundu, Floyd could fight. Yo-Yo Dan, no, we don't want to fight him. Bundu's ranked 4. I lost to Keith Thurman, I think. See, there's nobody there. See, you look at the record, there's nobody there who is really deserving of Floyd fight. Barker Brook, who's tied up with Frankie Gavin. Or Amir Khan. There isn't nobody. Okay, let's look at the world welterweight division. If you're Floyd Mayweather looking for a final fight, who will it be? Let's look now. Floyd's number 1. 48-0. Looks nice. So obviously Manny Pacquiao's out of the question. Keith Thurman, number 3. I don't see Thurman and Floyd fighting. Maidana's done. Brooks tied up. Khan's tied up. Sean Porter could be fighting. See, Timothy Bradley's a possibility, but here he's tied up as well. Brandon Rios versus Floyd Mayweather. Devin Alexander, Floyd Mayweather. Chris Van Heerderen, a fight in South Africa. Might be an interesting fight. Andre Berto. See, Andre Berto, there's a fight. Andre Berto's a good fighter, like a closing fight, because he's another fighter everybody knows. Andre Berto's an interesting fight. Chris Van Heerderen, another good fight there. There you go. But really, Brandon Rios, Timothy Bradley, Sean Porter. If Porter doesn't fight Thurman, then Porter could be a possibility. Porter versus Mayweather as a closing fight in his career. Then also some names are pulled up that could possibly be challengers to fight Floyd Mayweather in his 49th fight. What do you call the 49th fight? Who'll get it right? As I said, I'd like to see Floyd fight in the UK. What I don't want to see, the welterweight division now, it become mockery. You've had 2 guys, or 1 guy we know that's definitely number 1, and Pacquiao's arguably number 2. What we don't want to see now is a trinket of belts given out, and Manny Pacquiao's number 2, right? I think he's number 2 in all the governing bodies. So Manny Pacquiao versus whoever number 1 is. Well, Manny Pacquiao moved to number 1 once Floyd retires, I think. And then you've got Pacquiao. Well, then you've also got, I think, Thurman and Pacquiao would be a good fight. Thurman, Pacquiao for the belts. How are they going to vacate the belts? Are they just going to give the belts away just like that, or are they going to have them together? How's it going to be? I guess if they vacate and give them back to all the governing bodies, then the governing bodies will then put up vacant titles for each belt. And I don't like the sound of that. That's good. Floyd's giving it up because he's getting a maximum amount of money. Are there any more domestic charges being put against Floyd? That's another question mark. He's trying to get as much money as he can because he may have charges against him coming up soon. More domestic charges? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Somebody in America is to tell me. But yeah. So just to end, Floyd Mayweather has said in a a post press conference with the Manny Pacquiao fight that he will vacate his belt Monday morning. Good decision, saving money, I guess. And as I discussed before, I would love to see Floyd fight in the UK for his final fight. I think he can make a stack load of money in the UK, and yeah, fight a UK fighter. It's a bit scarce, you know, in terms of fighters, because all the guys are tied up, like I said. But it'd be good. If not, if he's going to fight in America, then potentially Bradley. I don't see a Thurman fight happening. So yeah, and I don't like the idea of all the belts being just scattered out there, and then you'll have about 4 people call themselves champions. I think there should be automatic unification bouts, like how Don King had it. Don King had a 2-year plan, where by the end you found out who the welterweight champion of the world is, whether it will work through PBC and Heyman's plan to dominate the sport. Will this actually give Heyman more control of the belts should he and his fighters decide to go for all these fights? Because if he does that, then it's all in-house. You know, you've already got one fighter who's got the IBF championship, which the WBA interim. I guess that means now that Keith Thurman will become the fully blown WBA champion, or you'll have to fight the number 1 contender for the WBA. Let me think this out. Let me see who the number 1 contender is for the WBA, because he's the interim champion. So I guess he would have had to face Floyd Mayweather. But obviously, now him not being... See, Thurman's ranked 3rd in the world. I haven't got the world. Let me see if I put up WBA ratings, and then they have an idea what's going on here. WBA ratings. WBA world. Okay. Okay. Because I guess if he's the WBA champion, Floyd, which he is, a super champion, then I guess Thurman would be the regular champion. And Floyd's not going to defend against Thurman, so... See, WBA world champion is Keith Thurman. The unified champion obviously is Floyd Mayweather. Number 1 contender. Oh, the interim champion now. He's WBA champion. The interim champion is Andre Berto. So Andre Berto versus Keith Thurman. Andre Berto's 1, Aaron Khan's 2, McDonald's 3, Porter's 4. The guy there at number 5, whose name is Terry Kachi Karating Day Najim. Wow, he's got some damn long name. I don't know how you're going to pronounce that, but yeah, he's from Thailand. He's ranked number 5 for the WBA. But yeah, so yeah, Andre Berto's number 1 contender. So Thurman versus Berto. I don't think that fight's going to happen. If it did, I think Berto's career could be ended quite brutally by Thurman. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Love to know what you think. What do you think of the idea of Floyd vacating the belt? Do you think it's a good idea he's done that? First fighter possibly to get 200 million. The best ever. I would agree it's the best ever in this area. And all these belts around, there certainly should be a Super 6, if not Super 6. Then the control of Al Heyman, how does that work? How's that going to work out? See, if Heyman starts getting his fighters to get in position to fight for his belts, then it could be a merry-go-round of who the champions are. will Heyman want to see one unified champion, or is he going to want to have all these champions out just defending against anybody? I don't know. But is he going to want to keep it in-house, or is he going to do away with that? And as I said before in a previous video, go with his own version of the World Championships, the Heyman World Championships. I don't know. Right, that's enough for me. It's 9:15 and I need to get some sleep. Thank you all for watching the shows. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. And thank you thank you for your support. And I know a lot of you guys talking about, and girls talking about future interviews. Yes, I would like to do future interviews. Yes, I would like to do a lot more things with the channel, a lot more things with the station, upgrades and all the rest of it. And there's a lot of things popping up at the moment, if you're going to see a lot of things. I'm surprised I'm still able to dedicate myself the way I do to boxing, the way I do. I love the sport. And there's nothing more exciting than the thrill of a big fight. Yeah, so thanks a lot for watching. This has been Ingram Jones from Bayloric TV Boxing Channel. I'm out. Your gloves up. I'm out.